Hello, everybody. Hello, Nana Laura. Hello, C-Rex. Hello, Spider-Man. Ooh, Haagen-Dazs. Now you're getting fancy. Hello, Patrick B. Look, Earl came to say hi. Hi, Earl. He's like, I'm going to the window. Forget you. No way. You're kidding me. Hold up. Oh, we need 5 more. I show 4,000. Oh, nope, 15 more. 4,985 according to this now. Yep, 15 more. We're getting there though. We're definitely getting there. That's wild. Oh my gosh. Hello, Sir Philip. Well, y'all know I hit 4K on New Year's Eve. So, I mean, I think it's a holiday thing for me. I think holidays are when I hit my thousands. Hello, Linda Applegate, my beautiful friend. Hello, Mortimer Duke. How you doing, love? Hello, Mark Ott. Good to see you. Thank you. I'm going to put that one right in my tummy. That one's going right in my tummy. And where it goes from there, we'll see. Oh, yeah. I don't know how YouTube does their calculations, though. But I know my dashboard is like, it's refreshed minute by minute. Absolutely. I have a feeling tomorrow's going to be a great day. Hello to the world. Oh, thank you all for coming. Tonight, we have Judge David Goggins. He's one of my favorite, the silver fox that he is. And then we're going to go to Idaho. Not me. I ain't the hoe. Idaho. Idaho and Idaho. We're going to go to Judge Naft's courtroom. And I did the best I could on the audio. Not tonight, my love. I mean, I can put on, I'm sure I have an unedited Ricky docket we can play with. We'll see. We'll see how awake I am when this is all over. Idaho. It certainly isn't me. It's definitely not me. I can guarantee that one. All right, guys. Let's see what we've got tonight.
How about Championado versus Miranda Tolbert and Linda Tolbert. And it looks, I did have proof service for Miranda because I didn't. Got one for. It looks like I've got Miranda Tolbert, but not Linda Tolbert in here.
She's in here.
I'm sorry, I got. Oh, Linda's
She's
at the top. Oh, I see it. Linda Tolbert. Is Miranda Tolbert there? Oh, she's there right in the middle of my screen. I'm sorry, I didn't even look. Have the three of you talked at all recently?
Yes, Your
We
Honor.
tried to come to a settlement, but I guess they don't want to come to one.
Okay. Miss Grimm, is that kind of the summary of it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, you
What has
just want
happened is they still have the vehicle.
Okay.
We never recovered the vehicle. We met over the phone, all three of us. We tried to come to a conclusion. They wanted to give back the vehicle. Champion said, no, we don't want it now because we looked for it for months and could not find it. We've talked with Linda. She had a different vehicle through us. And no one would surrender the vehicle so that we could come to a conclusion before this happened.
Excuse me, Your Honor, I was going in and making payments on the vehicle,
Yeah,
and then
Ms. Tolbert, we're gonna let's just have everybody. I'll swear everybody in, and we'll just proceed for all of your sakes. Okay, everybody raise their right hand for me. Linda Tolbert, if you could raise your right hand there for me. There you go. Do you swear from the testimony you're about to give will be the truth?
yes,
Yes.
Okay, I got all three of you. Ms. Grimm, why don't first of all start out with the type of vehicle, I guess, because there may be a couple of them here.
Okay, so this one was a 2009 Dodge Avenger.
Okay.
Okay. It's still unrecovered.
Okay.
It was actually repoed in 10/8 of 24. But unrecovered. That's when I finally went ahead and put it into repo status.
Okay.
Because we looked for it for months and couldn't find it.
Okay.
It was locked in a garage from what we believe.
And then how much, I guess, first of all, how much was the purchase price and then how much standing?
Okay, they bought it for $9,820 on 4/4/2022.
Okay.
When we repossessed it or didn't repossess it, it was still at $5,985.13.
Okay.
That's late fees alone were $315. It had been
I'm sorry, how much for late fees?
$315.
$315. Okay. I'm gonna mute both of you there, Miss Grimm. So we got late fees of $315.
Yes. It's not the first time that we did repossess the vehicle. We repossessed it a couple times.
Y'all only repossessed the vehicle one time, and I paid to get it out.
Okay, now I'll give both of you a chance to talk first. I just gotta get through her side and then we'll go. So I've got it. If I'm looking at what you've told me so far, the $5,985.13 that's still owed on the contract, plus $315 in late fees. Did you collect late fees at all? Anything like that? That's
No.
Okay. So that
Getting it repoed once is once too many.
brings us to a total on that portion, $6,300. It looks
And
like.
then interest is $932.52.
32.52. And what's the interest for? That's just
It's just the 25% on, yeah.
the one on the contract for the
Yes, sir.
payments.
Yes.
Okay. So that gets us over the gets us to $7,232.52. And then you've got Let's see. I'm showing process serving fee is $71.24. Is that true?
Yes, sir.
And I got filing fee of $70. That would be $141.24 for court costs. Is that true?
Yes.
Okay. That's probably where we need to stop right now. Either Linda or Miranda, either one of you want to tell me anything?
Yes.
Each of you. I'm sorry. Is that Linda?
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
So
Go
the
ahead.
car broke down and it had been sitting for a while. And we went in and talked to them about getting it in. And they told us it would take up to 6 months for them to fix it because they were behind. So I still was going in and making payments because she lost her job.
Okay.
So that I even spoke to her when I went in and and made the payments. And I'm still trying to help my daughter, not get into trouble or myself.
Sure.
And so the car was just been sitting, and they haven't contacted us about repossessing it. My daughter was even going to file bankruptcy, which I made her aware of, Mr. Grimm.
Okay.
But she never got around to it. We've been going through a lot. We had 4 deaths in the family. Just been a lot going on. I paid my vehicle off, so there was she was just having problems with it.
Yeah, you're not obviously you co-signed for the loan.
Yeah. And we offered to make a settlement to pay half because the car been broke down. She only drove it for maybe how long? She only drove the car for a year. We was making payments then it broke down. So she lost her job.
Okay.
So I offered to pay half for the settlement, make arrangements to pay half. That way we wouldn't have to go through all of this.
Okay. After 1 year. Okay, I get a note for you there, and I'll look at the file. Miranda, Tolbert, anything you want to tell me?
You talking?
Just that the vehicle was only repossessed one time.
Okay. You got it back at one point? Is that what happened?
Yes.
Yep, I paid $800.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna take just a brief recess off the monitor. I'll look at the complaint, make sure I got everything in order. I'll come back on in just 1 minute. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. You get a chance to review the complaint that was filed. I do find by totality of the testimony from both sides that the vehicle was purchased on April 4, 2022, somewhere thereabouts, that Miranda Tolbert was the main purchaser, and Linda Tolbert was the co-signer for this vehicle, and for making both responsible for payments. And to Miss Linda Tolbert, to her credit, she's trying to help her daughter out. Daughter's having a hard time making payments. I find that there's, at this point, from testimony from Champion, that there's a total still outstanding of $5,985.13. Late fees look reasonable given the time period, what I've heard, and the amounts owed for payments. $315 for a total of $6,300. Ms. Graham, I guess I did have one question. That Linda Tolbert mentioned she was making payments at some point. Did you give her credit for the payments that were made?
Yes, Your Honor.
So that's all. When was the last payment? Just so everybody's on the same page.
I'm sorry, I've got pages of notes.
Yeah.
What you got to?
The last payment was October 23, 2023.
I got February 23rd, 24 for $700.
You've got February 23, 24.
Yep. I don't know if you can see it, but I got it on the FX pay.
Yeah, turn it around.
I know, I'm trying to do it so they can see the whole thing. I don't think they can see it though.
It's kind of blurry.
Ms. Tolbert, the one Miranda,
I probably can't even
what
see
is
it.
it? That's okay. What are you showing me there? What is that?
Just the last payment date.
I know, but what were you trying to show on the phone there? What is that?
The where you log in on the FlexPay to make payments.
Oh, well, were you making payments online? Is that what it
Yep.
is?
Yep.
Okay. And the last one that you're showing was what date was it?
February 23rd, 24.
And it was $700.
Yep.
And who made that payment?
I believe my mother. I don't remember.
Okay.
We just did it through her account.
Okay. So Ms. Grimm, I guess we got it looks like what she's showing me, showing a $700 payment, February 23rd, 2024.
Okay. It's possible I don't have that payment right now.
Yeah. And I know you were taking over at some point there. Is that
Yes.
okay? What about, and I'm sorry, I wrote the figure down. What was the 932.52 for? What was that?
That's for interest from the beginning balance.
Oh, that was the intro. Yeah. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Hey, anything else from either one of you, given the questions I had? Anything? No? Okay. Let me add up my figures. I'll figure out what we got here, okay?
Please.
Thank you.
Okay, I did go through all the figures, find that this vehicle was driven for period of time for over a year at least, and there was some testimony that there was some vehicles having issues after a year, but that doesn't come into play with the initial contract at all at this point. Find there should be a credit of $700, so given what I've seen from Miranda Tolbert. Grant judgment to Champion Auto for $6,532.52 plus court costs of $141.24 for a total $6,673.76. Judgment for plaintiff in that amount. Okay.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. You're welcome. Good luck to everybody.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Bye now. Bye. Yeah, let's see. How about, gosh, we're down to Jennifer's iPhone. What's your name, ma'am? Whoop, you're muted. Okay, get you unmuted there.
Oh, sorry about that. Yes,
that's-
this is Jennifer Goff versus
Oh yeah.
yeah,
Yep. Versus double K&S towing.
correct.
Hey, do I have anybody with double K&S towing? Anybody? Nobody responding. I do have a Moto G Pure. Can you unmute and tell me your name? Anybody on that Moto G Pure? Nobody responding. Let's see what we got. Scott. I did get a chance to review the
letter I
you
wrote.
sent as well. Yeah.
I just wanted to give
summarize
a
it.
little back. Yeah, I've never done this before, so I just
Sure.
was trying to help.
Sure. We'll put it all in the record here in just a second. Let's see.
Okay.
Did they have proof of service? We get proof of service personally on office manager, it looks like, or somebody at the office there for double K&S towing. And let's see. Yeah, it looks like the court notice is attached as well. Why don't you do this for me, Miss Goff? Raise your right hand. Do you swear from the testimony you're about to give will be the truth?
Yes, I do, Your Honor.
Okay, and you can put your hand down for me. This is your claim for damage to your vehicle from a towing that was done. I did get a chance to review the complaint.
It wasn't exactly sorry. It wasn't a towing. I just had to call. Yeah, okay.
It was whether they were
Oh.
getting you out of predicament, I guess.
Yeah, okay.
Pushed you kind of. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. Did you call K&S Towing to come out and help you? Is that what it was?
I did,
Okay.
because I used to be neighbors with Scott, who is, yep, which I
Okay.
still paid. I still paid and everything. I still have my receipt.
Okay.
But the person he sent accidentally hit my vehicle and it's a brand new car. It's considerable damage.
Yeah.
And I have all on text messages that show that I'm willing to fix it. The discrepancy is he just wants to repair it in all the places say replacement due to the cars. It's brand new. And he's not willing to do that. And
So,
he
so
also,
well,
sorry,
just tell me, no, that's okay. It'd be quicker for you if, what kind of vehicle is that?
it's a 2024 Chevy Trax 1RS.
Chevy Trax, okay. And it's, and was it damaged before at all,
No,
before
there
this
was
incident?
never, there was not
Okay.
even a scratch on this vehicle.
Okay, and the only thing I guess I can't remember, they try to push you. Were you stuck someplace or something? I
I
can't
was on
remember.
the ice. Yes, I couldn't get traction on the ice.
Okay,
Yep.
that's
Yep. And so
and
they
then
were going to, he was going to like lift my tires,
okay,
to get me traction. But he hit the vehicle and there was just considerable damage to the lift gate and the lower area. I forget what it's called. I'm sorry, I'm not.
sure.
But
But damage to the lift gate.
and I have
And
pictures and everything I can show
I'll tell you
you.
what, if you got
Yeah,
a couple,
screen
just
share. Yeah.
yeah. Let me I think I've got that off. Let me get you some authorization here.
I also have on text message, not sure if you want these or not, but I've saved all the messages and he also almost tried to get me to do insurance fraud.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Let,
I saved every message.
okay, well,
Um,
hold on to them because if that comes up, but we'll try to avoid
okay.
that for right now.
Yeah.
Let's get you up on the. I just gave you some authority. Just show me if you could show me a couple of
Yep. I
pictures of
have
the
to
rear.
learn real quickly how to do
Oh,
this.
sure, sure.
I've done it once, so just one
That's all
moment.
right. That's all right.
Um,
I just wish I could remember the buttons on that bottom.
Yep, I think I figured it out. Yes, I did. I just figured it out.
Where was it
So,
at? I'm just curious.
this phone is brand new to me and
Yeah.
it just was hidden. It was the whole menu on bottom was hidden.
Oh, okay. It just
So
wasn't
I
okay.
just didn't see it.
Yep.
Yeah, like I don't know if
So,
you see it now,
yep. You
but
had it on there and took back
oh,
off.
yep, because I was trying to show you how I did it.
Yep.
Okay, so start broadcast. Let me know if you can see.
There we go. Yeah.
Okay, awesome. So yeah, it was there. So I'm gonna go to my photos and
In fact, is that one of are
those are the
those?
quotes.
Oh, that actually, you pull that up because I was going to ask you if you had a quote right there
I
for me.
have
Go ahead.
every quote. We have 4 quotes.
Okay,
So
give me your two
um
reasonable ones there.
well, this was the one, professional auto collision was the
Okay.
first place that we both wanted,
Okay.
except for he didn't like the total. It was 4,000. Oh wait, sorry. There it is. It's on. Is it? Sorry, I just had it. Ay, 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 this is so stressful. I'm sorry.
You're fine.
Um,
You're absolutely
okay,
fine.
this one is 4,115.90. This
Okay.
one is from Professional. This is the place that I wanted to go. This is the one I put on here. It is not the most expensive.
Okay. And what
Um,
was the 41
that's the
15
one.
that you just did?
That's Professional Auto Collision.
And was that kind of in the mid ground of all of them, or was it the
Yes, they
cheapest or
were.
the
It's not the cheapest, but
okay?
I've done business with them and so have they. And it was
Okay.
one of the places he asked me to check out initially.
Okay.
And that is actually who told me that I should get it replaced, not repaired.
Okay.
And 2 of the other places also said the same thing.
And that one is showing
This is
4,000
$4,115.90, which is what I
90.
put it in. And then Woods is another one. And where is that one? Sorry. That one. This one is $4,872.57.
Okay.
That one's the most expensive. This one is $3,991.24.
Okay.
Those are the 3 big ones. What he was wanting me to do was a repair, and that I have the quote of after he had me change it.
Well, that's okay. You can leave, you know what? You can just leave that off because the repair, you didn't want to repair
I
anyways,
did
right?
not. I really wanted it replaced. I don't want my value of my
Yeah.
vehicle to go down,
It would,
especially.
I guess, and I kind of cut you off there. What was the figure on it, just out of curiosity?
It was $1,575.78.
Okay. For the repair.
Yep. And here's my vehicle.
Okay.
The back, it lines up. I have on message that they took responsibility for it. The bottom's messed up on the bottom left. I have other
Yep.
pictures as well. There's another picture of it. It's dented. It actually looks worse in person. You can't see it all perfectly, but here's a closer up.
There it is. Yep. Yep.
Yep.
That's a good one right there. I see it. Yep. It's
Yeah.
actually on the whole.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
He hasn't seen it in person, so I don't know if that's why he's having a discrepancy on not wanting to
Yeah.
replace, but I have been I haven't spoken to him lately. After I did the court judgment thingy, I haven't spoken with him.
Okay.
I just kind of let court handle that now. I've tried to remain civil this whole time, and
Sure.
I'm not getting anywhere, but I do want my car fixed.
Well, let's just see what we get here. One.
His name in person was Scott Miller. I didn't know whether to file it against him or double KNS. Just being completely upfront there. I didn't know.
Sure. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Okay. I've got those codes in the average, and I've seen the pictures in this, so that we're all. I did actually read. Should attach there in your letter. I guess that's all we need, really. Kind of gone through everything. You had also, I see a process serving fee of $71.24 plus filing fee of $70.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I only
Well, I'm
paid
sorry, that's the wrong one. No, I'm sorry. I just grabbed
Okay.
the wrong one
Yeah,
right
my
in front of me.
process serving fee was only 35. I was not
Yeah.
trying
Thank
to.
No, I grabbed the one I was working on when we started back
Okay.
up.
Sorry
I've
for
got-
interrupting.
Yep. No, that's okay. No, I'd rather have you correct me. $35 process serving fee, and then
70 courts cost.
yeah, there it is, 70 for $205 in court costs. Anything else is in order? Anything else you want to tell me? Does that kind of cover everything?
I think that's everything.
Okay. And you asked for in your complaint 4,115.90, so you just took that amount. I was gonna average them
Yeah,
out for you.
I wasn't sure what to
Yeah.
do for that.
I want to hear about him asking you to commit insurance fraud. That's what I want to hear about.
Well, I was going to give you the average, but honestly, I can, with the default, I can give you what you pled, and that's the 4,115.90 plus your court costs of $105.
I think it came to $4,220.90, if that's the same thing that you had.
I've got your court costs $105, right?
Oh,
So
no,
I've
I
got
only,
the total.
oh, okay, sorry.
You only what?
I only paid 70 in court costs.
Yeah, well, I'm sorry, you had 70 plus the 35 though.
Oh, okay, sorry.
So it's 105. So you've got total here. It's going to come out exactly what you said, I believe. Well, let me squeeze it in there. $4,220.90. Total default judgment for $4,220.90.
Can I
Okay.
ask a question real quick?
Sure.
Your Honor? What does it mean to have a default judgment? How
It means the other side didn't show up. So I just
so how do I get paid?
Well, it would be the same even if they showed up. The only thing I could do is I'm giving you judgment for that amount,
Okay.
and you can collect on it. We have a pamphlet that you can get at the courthouse.
Okay.
You can seize property or garnish wages, that type of thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just
So,
gonna hope he just pays it.
Yeah, sure. But
Okay.
you've got the judgment. You can collect on the judgment. It's best I can tell you right now.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. sorry it happened. That's nothing worse than having a new car like that and having something
Yeah,
like that. So.
it was my only new car I've ever owned. So
Oh,
it's
that's too
my
bad.
baby. And it's a
Yeah.
special color, so I
Oh,
really
I'm
I
sorry.
want to keep it forever.
Well, good for you. That nothing wrong with that. I say this all the time, and this doesn't really apply, but at least nobody got hurt.
Oh, of
It's just
course.
it's just a vehicle,
I
and you
know.
know what?
Yep.
Probably about 2 years from now, you're gonna look and it won't have that much sentimental value. Right
I
now,
know,
I know it
I
does.
know. Worst case scenario, I was just gonna go through insurance. I just don't want my rates to go
Yeah,
up, you know,
sure,
especially
sure,
since I wasn't even driving. So, but
sure.
thank you so much, Your Honor.
You're
It was a
welcome.
pleasure. Have a great
Yep,
day.
same here. You too.
Bye.
Good luck to you. Bye.
What the fuck happened?
You gotta watch your mouth. Who's on that
Excuse
Moto
me.
G Pure?
Excuse me.
Who's on the Moto G Pure?
No, you said Mo.
Yeah, you're
David?
on your device. It's a Moto G Pure, and I've called it several times. What's your name?
David.
David what?
Last name Leonard. Leonard. I've
Okay.
been waiting. I've been waiting quite a while.
Yeah, and I've called out that gosh from the beginning. I kept saying, "Who's on the Moto G Pure?" But you got to watch your mouth.
Excuse me. I'm sorry, sir. I was just wondering.
Yeah.
I thought maybe I had some issues with my phone.
Okay. Give me a minute here, and we'll
I
call yours.
apologize.
Okay. This is David Leonard versus April Jones.
That's correct.
Okay.
Good
April
morning,
Jones.
Randall.
You only have April Jones here. It's like, and I believe I've got proof of service in the file. Yep. Mr. Leonard, why don't you raise your right hand for me? Got your hand raised?
Yes, sir.
Do you swear from the testimony you're about to give will be the truth?
Yes, sir.
Okay. This is your complaint for, let's just see what I got. It says $1,100. I'm suing defendant April Jones for a eviction notice we received from her landlord that I helped pay for. So did you loan her $1,100? Is that what it is?
Yes, sir.
How did you loan it to her? Was it cash or a check or what was it?
I sent I took out a signature loan. I had a signature loan that I was had already, and I added
Okay.
additional $1,000 to the signature loan on October 1st.
Okay. And let's see.
I believe there's a copy of that in the file.
Is there? Okay, attached to it somehow?
Yeah,
Yeah,
along with that. And I should be also along with a text message.
okay, I do have it. Yeah. Got the member statement. That's and she paid that was the total you loaned her? Is that right?
$1,100.
Yeah. Did she pay you anything at all?
She hasn't paid me not one penny. I haven't received anything from her.
Okay.
And that was the last conversation we had. It's on a text message. If you see the black paperwork you have, there's a text message.
Yep.
The last page on the text message states that she said her taxes was taken for a student loan this year, but she would find a way to pay me back as soon as possible. I haven't heard anything back from that. And also on the actual student loan, she wouldn't show me any proof. She wouldn't show me. I asked her to show me some type of proof, or where the IRS took a garnishment from her pay, or how did that work out? She said she's not going to show me anything. She said, I told you she's not going to show me anything.
Yeah.
So what I was going to say also is that as far as student loans is concerned, there hasn't been a student loan, I think, on college students since 2020.
Yeah, I'm not chuckling, but yeah.
Since the COVID.
Yeah.
And so now
boy.
she's saying that they took her income tax due to a student loan. That couldn't be possible.
Was this somebody that you just
We used to work
knew?
together. We've been friends for 7 years. We used to work together.
Oh gosh. Okay. Well,
Not friends anymore, I'll betcha.
unfortunately, sometimes you gotta do this kind of thing. We'll grant default judgment for the $1,100, and I'm also showing process serving fee of $40 and filing fee of $50 for a total $90. Is that what you have in court costs? Is that true?
That's correct, Your Honor.
Okay. $1,190 total. And we'll send you a copy of that default judgment, okay?
Okay, Your Honor, may I ask a question, please?
Sure.
So how does that work? So does she have to come back to court, or do I have to come back, or do I?
Well, the way I'm giving you a judgment, I can't give you legal advice, but what I can tell you, you can collect on that judgment now. That there's several. We have a pamphlet you can get at the courthouse, or even call.
Is there a 21 or 31 day period that she has to pay me back?
Yeah, what it'll say on there, it's going to give her 30 days. She has to pay it within 30 days, otherwise you can start collecting on it.
Will I have to file a subpoena if she doesn't pay in the 30-day period?
You could file a subpoena, you could garnish wages, you could seize property. And again, the big thing is I can't tell you what you should do or how. So, but we do have a pamphlet if you want to come by, or actually call my staff, as well. I think we have a pamphlet still. It kind of tells you your options, okay?
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, Your Honor. Appreciate it.
You're welcome. You're all set. Okay.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
You're welcome. Good luck to you.
Yeah.
Bye now. Bye.
All right, this is Leonard Idaho versus Sage McCertie. Case number is CR 03-24-11897. Mr. McCertie is present in court with his attorney, Mr. Block. We have Mr. Hocham from the prosecuting attorney's office with us. This is the kind of place for sentencing where he previously pled guilty to the delivery of a substance. Pre-sentence investigation report's been prepared. Mr. McCertie, have you had a chance to review that with Mr. Block?
Indeed, I have, Your Honor.
You still want to maintain your plea of guilty here today?
Yes.
All right. Having reviewed that with him, Mr. Block, are there any changes, corrections, or objections to be made?
No.
Everything was turned correct in that document, Mr. McCertie?
Indeed, it was.
All right, this is a non-binding plea agreement on the court. So sir, what we're going to do is I'm going to turn the time over to Mr. Hocham to make comments and recommendations based on his agreement in the plea agreement. And then Mr. Block will hear from him, and then anything you'd like to put in. Okay? So Mr. Hocham, go ahead, please.
Thank you, Your Honor. I apologize. I failed to check this. So I'm just double checking to make sure that we have restitution file.
Restitution request was for $486, $396 for forensic services, and $90 the prosecutor's office.
Thank you.
Any objection to that, Mr. Block?
No, Your Honor.
That will be ordered as a part of the sentence.
Excellent. Thank you, sir. The statement would rest on the recommendations that are contained within the plea agreement for a period of probation with no upfront jail time and any jail time suspended, with the details of what the underlying sentences be left in the court's discretion. No objection to a withheld judgment, and then of course the restitution that's already been ordered. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Mr. Block.
Thank you, Your Honor. I think I'll tell you a little bit about Sage. I wanted to highlight a couple things in the PSI that I thought were important as well, Your Honor. Sage is 31 years old. He's a high school graduated in 2012 from Pocatello High School here. He currently works at a restaurant called Brick 243 here in Pocatello. Your Honor, he's been there for about a year now. He's had about 12 years where he's been working in some sort of food service industry. I think one of the things that's really important to note in this case is that at the time this happened, he was working in Club 91, which is perhaps one of the worst environments for somebody who's had a history of drug problems. And as Your Honor is well aware, food service can occasionally be very difficult with that. Brick 243 is a dramatically different place. It is an owner-operated business. Sage assists the two owners in operating that. It's a very small restaurant, and they run a tight ship there. It is not a drug use kitchen, as so many kitchens can be. It is a place that is actually a safe environment for him to be. It's one of the shift to that restaurant was actually a very important part of him getting sober in the beginning of this, Your Honor. And part of that story is after this incident initially happened, Sage wasn't charged for some number of months afterwards. It took a while for him to get, he found out there was a warrant out and he eventually turned himself in. And between the time this happened, which was in February of 2020, he got sober by the summer of 2020. And he ended up getting served with his warrant November 26th. So there's quite a bit of time where he actually took it upon himself to get sober, to start making the changes in his life that were really important for him to be successful. Obviously, he's got a lot of work to continue to do that, to maintain his sobriety and to obviously and to move forward here. Other things that are really important about Sage is, with Sage, there's a bit of arrested development. He's 31 and he's really still at the beginning. He's really struggled to move past his these really basic jobs where he's working for someone, where he's working under a lot of direction. To have direction for himself, to be self-directed, is something he hasn't gotten yet. And that also tells a bit of the story of how this happened. Sage's extreme naivete is how he got into this situation. This was not about money, but it was about drugs for Sage. Sage was not earning money doing this. He was earning drugs. He was essentially a go-between between a drug dealer and an audience who wanted drugs at Club 91. And we would get supplied with things. And Sage was used to doing deals for $100 or $200, maybe $300. And all of a sudden somebody came in, why don't you do a deal for $1,000 or $1,500? And instead of thinking as somebody who was not naive in the drug trade, who was actually operating the drug trade, this is not good. This is obviously a setup, because anybody who was experienced in the drug trade would have thought that. Sage thought, oh, that's a good idea. I'll get some more drugs. Incredible in this, which got him involved in this. So I think that's an important part of the picture here, is this arrested development. He's in counseling now. He's when should counseling start? Today is the first day of counseling, actually. So he's been working to get that set up. It's taken a while. And I really hope that's something he works on in his counseling, where he can get through some of that and gain the maturity that he's going to need to go through this life. I think it's important to note that Sage has taken responsibility. He turned himself in. He's pled guilty here. Your Honor, besides that, I wanted to highlight just a couple of things. I'm just checking my notes, make sure I didn't skip anything here. You are. There is Sage has got some mental health issues he's going to have to deal with. There's some PTSD, some ADHD, and Sage thinks there might be some autism. He's going to get checked out for that. I think that might be true. I don't know where on the spectrum Sage might be, but in my experience with Sage, I think that there's probably some truth to that he might be somewhere on the spectrum. I think that's an important thing for him to go take care of. And obviously, as Your Honor read the pre-sentence report, there's he obviously dealt with some traumatic issues that really affected him. The anxiety, the panic attacks there. I have noticed that anxiety in working with Sage over the past couple of months. That's very much true. I will note the low PSI score. I will note the recommendation here for probation. I think that's appropriate. I'm just checking my notes to make sure I haven't forgotten to tell you anything else. Sage and I talked just last week in preparing for this. He told me he got a new cat. He's got a 4-month-old cat. And I think that that's something so important for someone like Sage, is to have something to take care of every day, something to do every day that you're responsible for. Actually is going to be something really important and helpful. I'm going to ask Your Honor here for to grant the withheld judgment. This is a first offense, and I think Sage has done the things necessary to earn himself that withheld judgment, take the responsibility, taking actions before he actually got served with the warrant. I'm going to ask for probation with no upfront jail time. I think in terms of a sentence, Your Honor, I think a suspended sentence of something like 2 + 4 would make a lot of sense here, given the nature of the crime. Obviously, no objection to restitution, as we previously noted. I am going to ask you to consider suspending a good portion of whatever fines you may give, Your Honor. Given that Sage works in food service, he does not make a lot of money. He makes somewhere between $20,000 and $25,000 a year. He has been supported throughout this by his mother and grandmother here in the home with us today, Your Honor. And of course, Your Honor, I think that any order Your Honor gives should require him to comply with this treatment plan and to come up with a full and complete plan for managing his addiction, as was recommended by the evaluations of the PSI. I think that would be really appropriate. Thank you.
Well, thank you. Mr. McCertie, is there anything you wanted to tell me?
I do. I have a few things to say, Your Honor.
If you're going to read that, make sure you take your time and speak loudly so I can hear you and our court reporter can get down everything you said. All right.
Thank you, Your Honor. It's quite a hold of it because last time I was quite nervous, and I would hope to be honest, concise, and not blather. So it should be pretty brief. The first points that I'd like to bring up is that I'd like to thank you for the opportunity, for being concise with me, for giving me the space to explain myself, for being reasonable and professional with me, letting me acknowledge what I've done, and the opportunity to move forward with things, the opportunity to benefit myself, to acknowledge what I've done, become real with the idea of how it affected myself, my family, even the community at large, kind of thing. I did want to present some examples of change. Richard was nice enough to tell you about therapy that I plan on going to, the support of my family, friends, the professional establishment, that it's really given me a chance to better myself, take more charge of my life, honestly, with the title that I'm proud to hold as a chef, which is much more than line cook or bar back or anything that I've done before. Give me quite a bit of a chance to grow, to hone my craft. And so I really hope that I get the opportunity to change with them and to grow out of my naivety. And
it's better than your title of drug dealer.
Into something better that I can hone in myself. There might be changes coming forward that this will present even more, especially with prolonged probation and whatnot, a great opportunity to improve my health, both mentally, physically, professionally. I think that that would be good, and it's something that I'm very, very much looking forward to. Nuance points, I guess, that I do want to just be better. That was the plan, is that I slipped into some holes that I wasn't proud of. Some of my mental health could be factors of that. My naivety could be factors of that. There are things that I want to do very much to change that and prove that I can and will be better. So I wanted to thank you again for the space to do that. Your Honor.
All right. Thank you. Mr. Block, is there anything where you don't get the sentencing?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. McCurdy, remember you have 42 days in which to appeal on the sentencing. We'll read the pre-sentence investigation report, your prior criminal history, and the facts and circumstances of this particular charge. We'll also consider protecting society, punishment, deterrence, and rehabilitation. I'll listen carefully to Mr. Hillcomb and Mr. Block, and also your comments, and and I have to determine whether or not you'd be a liable candidate to be placed on probation. So your other choice is
Currently? No. The one before the charge was cocaine.
okay.
Yes.
Okay. And when did you start your recovery?
So that was summer of last year.
Yes, summer of
October, but you did.
So how long have you been in recovery?
since the beginning of summer last year.
How have you maintained your recovery?
Absolutely.
How have you done?
How? Mostly I was just honest with myself. It presented a lot of health complications that were very present quickly, financial issues. And so it's mostly just with the support of family, the realization of obviously a bad choice and a strict regime of showing up to work on time, maintaining a routine, being in close communication with healthy friends and a very supportive family. That's pretty much the bread and butter of it.
Where are you starting counseling now?
It is, it's over by the butcher block. It's called Oasis. It's a Raphael Torres.
And what is this for?
And he's a specialist. I have his business card that says he's a specialist in. And it is, I'm hoping that will help with either an ADHD or autism spectrum related diagnosis. But he also specializes in substance abuse.
How are you going to pay for this? How are you going to pay for this?
Medicaid.
All right. Have you considered all the things that I previously mentioned, Mr. McCertie? I do find that you're a violent candidate and placed on probation. I'm not going to grant you a withheld judgment. You're essentially drug dealing. I mean, that's what you were doing. You were the go-between, but you were helping drug deals go down. You got yourself in a lot of trouble. You're lucky the prosecutor here is willing to give you an opportunity to make things right for yourself and move forward and have rehabilitation in your life. Otherwise, you'd probably be sent spend some time in the state penitentiary. So I'm going to impose a sentence of 5 years fixed, 5 years indeterminate. I'm going to suspend that sentence and I'm going to place you on supervised probation for a period of 4 years. We previously reviewed and signed the agreement of supervision. Remember that document?
Indeed, I do.
Was there any term in there that you did not understand and you don't think you can comply with?
No, no.
In addition to those terms, I'm going to add these. Restitution, as I already indicated, of $486. I am going to impose a fine of $1,000 plus court costs of $285.50. Beginning July 1st, you'll start making payments of at least $75 a month. Can't get off of probation until all those fines and fees are paid. And so that means that if you want to get off of probation earlier than 4 years at the halfway mark, everything has to be done. You have to have a recommendation from your probation officer. You have to have all those fees and restitution paid off. If you don't get it all done in 4 years, that could result in a probation violation and an extension of your probation. You'll also have to complete 100 hours of community work service required by the statute. You'll work with your probation officer to get those completed. Probation officer will have 120 days of discretionary time to use. You'll observe any curfew restrictions placed on you in the discretion of your probation officer. When it comes to treatment, make sure you sign all necessary releases of information and provide complete truthful information to your treatment provider. Do not change treatment providers without permission from your probation officer. You'll pay for treatment unless it's paid for by some other source, like Medicaid. Your employer needs to know now that you're on probation. Even though this particular job that you have may not interfere with you meeting with your probation officer, it's important that they know that you're on probation. If you lose your job for any reason, or you want to change your job or get a second job, do not do that without permission from your probation. If you lose your job, the first person you contact is your probation. You'll need to provide a DNA sample and a thumbprint to the Department of Corrections. When you meet with probation referral here this morning, they'll give you some additional information on how to accomplish that. If you don't get it done within 10 days, you could face another felony. You'll attend self-help meetings as directed by your probation officer and or your treatment provider if they deem it's appropriate. I'm going to impose 2 days in the Bannock County Jail and give you credit for 2 days served. Now, if you successfully complete probation without any violations or anything like that, then you can ask for further relief under Idaho Code 192604. So the court could consider dismissing the charge and allowing you to withdraw your plea of guilty or reducing it to a misdemeanor. Understand that you've pled guilty to a drug charge. So for enhancement purposes in the future, you get another drug charge, prosecutor can use this as an enhancement for future charges. Understood?
Understood, Your Honor.
Now, of those additional terms that I went over with you, are there any you don't understand or you don't think you can comply with?
No, Your Honor. Sounds reasonable.
Any questions, Mr. Block?
Nothing from me, Your Honor.
Any other term and condition that you would want, Mr. Hochul?
Your Honor, I don't know if I heard about community service. Is that
100 hours?
Okay, thank you. I have two.
Okay.
That was it. Thank you.
Okay. All right. I'm glad you moved on. Now it's the opportunity to change your life. Okay. You've done some pretty good work so far. but you still have work to do. All right. Okay. Meet with the probation officer before you leave, and I wish you the best of luck. Anything else?
This is everything for me, Your Honor.
Thank you. Over to the student.
Thank you.
Mr. Andrew, I think that over to Stephen.
Can you hear me, Your Honor?
We can hear you, we can't see you. So, Ms. Miskley, this is a time set for setting a bond. It's not an arraignment, right?
No, Mr. Fine is scheduled to be arraigned on a bond violation. He's alleged to have had positive urine screens.
Also, Judge Phillips looks like he will be able to appear for his prelim.
Yep. Did not show for his prelim?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so bond violations and failure to appear for his prelim.
I was a day for my prelim. I didn't get anything.
Sir, stop talking.
So wait. Yeah.
I'm sorry. Sorry.
He's an attorney here for you, okay?
Sorry.
She'd rather speak on your behalf than have you say something that you perhaps don't want to say, okay?
Yes, sir. I'm sorry.
Ms. Moose, can you tell me when that prelim was? I don't have anything about that on the dispo the court sent me.
It looks like April 25th, failure to appear for prelim.
Oh. Okay. Thank you.
But hold on a second. It looks like he did present himself to the court. Then there's more notes on April 29th. Not to issue the bench warrant, reschedule the prelim for 5/23.
Has it been fixed?
And a show cause hearing for 5/23.
So there was not a bench warrant for not showing up for the prelim?
It looks like one was not issued.
Okay.
So basically the bench warrant was for failure to comply with bond conditions for urine screens.
Okay, all right, that's what I have. Thank you.
Yeah, sorry, it was a little confusing because the notes were in there on 2 different days.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Pain.
Yes, I do.
So Friday, there's a preliminary examination and a show for that, for him missing.
Okay.
The camera's off on your end.
I was gonna say, over here, does it show the camera off on, if you click?
Yeah, got it.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
There we go.
Thank you, Technical difficulties.
All right, so come on out.
Yeah, maybe I have something to do with it. Okay, so Ms. Mistley.
Yes.
The issue we have is a bench warrant because it allegedly didn't show up for the prelim.
Yes, that is my understanding, and I have had an opportunity to discuss this matter with Mr. Fine Nafsu, and he will be admitting the violations.
Okay. So, sir, your attorney indicates that you admit that you didn't show up for your prelim. Is that correct?
No, sir. Wait a minute. I thought we were talking about the positive urine screens.
Okay, well, I thought there was 2. Help me out.
I don't believe
they're going to do a show cause for the prelim.
Okay, I guess you're doing a show cause at the time of the new prelim?
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
then we'll forget that.
Okay.
Okay, so he failed to do a urine screen is the allegation, is that correct?
Yes, there were several dates that he's alleged. Well, one he is alleged to have missed on May 14th. He does admit that he missed that due to transportation issues, and then he can't testify as to specific dates, but he does know that he had at least a couple of positive urine screens, so he will admit that.
So, sir, is that correct that you did miss a urine screen and have had positive urine screens? Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
And so we'll accept that you violated your bond. And Ms. Mistley, what was he positive for? And
I don't know. I was not sent any of the results from New Directions.
Okay, what were you positive for?
THC.
Your Honor,
Yes.
he was positive for amphetamines on March 27th, positive for amphetamines and THC, positive on April 3rd for amphetamines, and April 6th, positive for amphetamines. Let's see, April 9th, positive for amphetamines and THC. And then he missed his urine screen on May 14th.
Okay. And sir, is that correct?
What was that,
Is
sir?
correct? Okay, were you positive for amphetamines on 4 occasions?
Not on 14. I wasn't there for the 14.
On four different occasions, you were positive for drugs.
I'm aware that I was positive for THC. Yes.
Okay. How about amphetamines? That's what.
For what? For amphetamines? Yes. Yes.
Okay, we'll accept your plea. And do we have a recommendation as to as to bond?
Well, Your Honor, as I understand it, he's scheduled to be back in court on Friday for the rescheduled prelim. So we don't have any specific bond requests at this time. Thank you. I believe that Mr. Connolly can more appropriately address that with Judge Cooney at that time.
Okay, anything further from either side?
No, thank you.
Okay, we're gonna set a new bond with all the same terms, conditions, but at this point in time, it'll be $50,000 cash or surety, and Judge Cooney can address that at the time of the preliminary exam. And you best show up for the preliminary exam if you bond out. Anything else?
No, thank you.
Okay, great. Okay, thank you. Good luck, sir.
You can step out, sir.
$50K, he ain't bonding out. I almost guarantee it. He's not getting out of there in time. He's gonna go up against Judge Cooney. And I don't think Judge Cooney's gonna be happy about the bond violations, and they're doing a show cause on him. His goose is cooked. Mortimer Duke, are you sleeping? Do I gotta send you the honk to wake you up? He was asking for some Judge Ricky. And then he disappeared. Let me see here. That's all that I have edited, but let me see. I know I have. I'm just gonna type Ricky. Let's see what I got. Warrant to show cause on 5/16.
State of Kansas versus Leslie Aaron Hudson. It's case number 2023 CR 18. Oh. James Watts appears.
We've already seen that. Sorry, guys. Let's see here. I know he just did. He just did first appearance docket within the last couple of days. Let's see if this is him.
Miss Russell, we can hear you.
Okay, just making sure. For some reason, I can't get my video or my voice, get it unmuted at first.
You're unmuted. If you want to leave your video off, I will ask you to start it when the judge calls your case.
Okay, no problem. Thank you, ma'am.
All right. This is the first appearance docket for today, Friday, May 23rd, 2025. I've got a couple of attorneys here and I don't see the jail right now. So let's go ahead and take up the attorneys' cases. Mr. Patterson, who do you have there in your office with you?
Kyle Buckley, Your Honor.
Kyle Buckley. All right. We are going to go on the record in State of Kansas versus Kyle Andrew Buckley, 2025 CR 232. The state appears by and through Mr. Sweeney. Mr. Buckley is appearing after having posted a $5,000 surety bond, which I will approve based on his appearance and retaining counsel. That's with AAA bonding. Mr. Patterson, it looks like the county attorney's office is charged by information, one count of domestic battery, a class B person misdemeanor. I'm sure you've gone over the charge with him.
Yes, Judge.
And I assume you want me to enter not guilty plea and go ahead and put this on a docket. Would that be all right?
Please, Your Honor.
Okay. So we'll enter a not guilty plea, and it looks like they're setting these out to July 28th. Do you want him at 8 or 9?
8 o'clock's fine, Judge.
Okay. So, sir, if you would reappear to satisfy your bond requirements on July 28th, 25 at 8 a.m., I would appreciate it. Those are still being conducted by Zoom, just like we're doing today. So I'll let Mr. Patterson instruct you on where he wants you to be and what the hearing's about. All right, so I assume there's a no contact order?
Yes, Judge, and he is abiding by that and will continue to do so.
Okay. And yeah, he's not supposed to return to 406 West Kincaid. Okay. Very good. Same conditions. Anything further?
Nothing further, Judge. Thank you.
No, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right. We are, hang on just a minute. So Mr. Simmons was arrested too.
Yes, Judge.
And your client was originally arrested for an ag battery, but they charged it as a domestic battery.
Yes, Judge.
And then
Ooh, she's got to get multiple files out.
I'm not seeing that file. I guess you can check with the county attorney's office to see what they're doing with that case. I guess I'm looking for Simmons. There we go. I'm sorry. He's charged with DV battery too, with your client being the victim.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right.
Thank you, Judge. Have a good day.
You too.
Thank you.
Adjourned. You're welcome.
Your Honor.
Yes.
This is Dean at Court Security. I was just supposed to inform you that their jail is running a little late because they're having issues with Jason Runyon.
Okay. Well, you know what? We don't even need him. But we're not
Okay.
sure why he's on here because he has a court date of 6/9/25 at 2:30. And Cooper's been appointed because Watts has a conflict. This is Judge Hart's case. I don't know anything about Vaughn though, Amy. Well, it looks like at one point he posted a $50,000 surety bond with Second Chance. That was in January. I don't show that he ever failed to appear on this case. So I don't know what he's in custody for, unless it's something else.
And I'm not sure either, Your Honor, but I mean, I show that January bond was set at $50,000, so he has a bond.
So the only thing I wonder is, this is a Quinn D. Doonan, who I'm not familiar with, in Wichita. Well, it's Second Chance. That's the name of the bonding company. I'm sorry. So all I can figure is that maybe the bondsman turned him in because he thought he was a flight risk or there were some issues.
Yeah, or he missed a payment or something.
Well, I don't do that. I don't play that. They don't stay in custody for me. That's a civil matter. That's between them. I don't take people in custody for non-payment.
Well, right, but I'm just saying.
To bond people out without taking all the money up front, that's the risk they run. That doesn't put them back in jail for me. So I don't know either. But he's supposed to submit to us if he does, unless it's a bond forfeiture bench warrant. That's automatic by law. They have a right to take him to the jail, turn him in, and be discharged from him. But otherwise, they have to have us sign a discharge and give us the reason under oath. And we make that decision, depending on the circumstances. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know why they're having problems with him, and I don't know why he's even having a first appearance. And so maybe eventually we'll figure it out.
They're checking right now as they think it might have been a warrant, but they're going to get back to us and let us know.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome, Your Honor.
All right. So, Mr. Stang.
Yes, Your Honor, I'm here on, God, I'm looking at Mr. Carl Malent, and it's going to be a drug case, so it may not be filed yet.
Okay.
Wouldn't surprise me, but I don't know.
It's listed last here, but usually these are put in alphabetical order. I kind of messed them up initially, so that does not help.
He was arrested on May 18th, and normally when I see something alleging substances, I haven't seen a lab that quick yet.
It is filed, Your Honor.
Okay.
And for what it's worth, I think they did use the TrueNarc testing system that statutorily is permitted for prelim.
Why am I not finding the file? Help me find the file, please.
Brett,
We're
do you have
looking
case number?
for this Carl
One-
Vernon,
25 CR 236.
MALANDT.
This is a mess.
Okay, thank you. I don't think so, but this is what we've got the case on.
Yeah.
I don't know about a new case. I don't know why he's in there. Well, we got to figure out what's going on with him, why he's even in custody. But don't restrain him and drag him in right now. Okay, found it. Mr. Stang in 25 CR 236. Your client's been charged, count 1, possession of cocaine, a level 5 drug felony from an incident that occurred May 16th of 2025. Possession of para, being cut straws, and a vial. Driving while suspended as a first, in count 3, a class B non-person misdemeanor, and transporting an open container, an unclassified misdemeanor. I'm sure you've advised him how the drug grid works. If convicted, it's 10 to 42 months with the Department of Corrections, up to $100,000 fine, as long as he doesn't have 2-person felonies or more, or 6-person misdemeanors or more as an adult. He may be eligible for probation, and he may even be eligible for Senate bill treatment. Do you wish for me to enter a not guilty plea? And do you want this set directly for prelim, or are you satisfied with putting it on a control docket?
We would enter a not guilty for the misdemeanors. For the felony, we would put it on a control docket, please, so we can get the reports.
Okay.
Was the para a misdemeanor or a felony?
Misdemeanor.
Okay.
Have you've entered? No.
We haven't entered because we didn't
You
know it's filed.
officially enter your appearance. You'll get a copy of everything, and it's, I guess, transmitted digitally, right? So it should be pretty quick. Okay. Next, preliminary hearing control on Judge Hart's docket. That's who the case is assigned to, is Judge Hart.
Okay.
Is June 30th at 2:30.
Probably at 2:30 via Zoom, Your Honor.
Yes, we're still doing those scheduling hearings, announcement hearings by Zoom.
Perfect. If I may inquire, is this going to be Mr. Sweeney's case or?
Yes, it should be, as far as I know. Except he is out until, well, he'll be back by then.
Okay.
Well,
No.
June 30th, I'll be out till July 14th.
You're fine. I just know who to contact.
I'm never gonna get it right. I'll just know you'll be gone, and I'll be asking people, when's he coming back? And
that's
I'm
fine.
sorry. I'm so
I
sorry.
hope it's a nice place you're going to.
A lovely place called Wichita, Kansas. Yeah, just
I'm really sorry for you. I see it daily.
It's called parenthood.
Yeah, that's true.
All right. Anything further, Mr. Stang?
Not today, Your Honor. Thank you.
Bond, and I'll continue him on the bond. Okay, thank
Appreciate
you for your patience.
Have a good weekend.
You too.
Bye.
Bye. Got Taylor Green. Mr. Green, I'll try to get to you here as soon as I can. Do we have any other attorneys that are being paid to be here that are charging by the hour?
Yes, Judge.
Okay. Sir, who are you representing? Are you representing Taylor Green?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Then we will go to that case. We're going to go on the record in state of Kansas versus Taylor Green, 2025 CR 153. The state appears by and through Mr. Sweeney. Mr. Green is appearing by Zoom and with his attorney, Mr. Jeffrey. Is that correct?
It's Geoffrey, Judge, but yes, it's a weird one.
I don't even know how to do that phonetically. Yeah.
It's fair.
All right. So your client appeared by summons, which I do appreciate. And he's charged with 1 count of possession of marijuana, a Class B misdemeanor. I don't even know what the substance is in count 2. Mr. Sweeney?
I think it's mushrooms, Your Honor.
Okay.
That's accurate, Your Honor. Psilocybin is in the 2-wit. We just forgot to bold it.
Okay, sorry. All right. That's a Class A misdemeanor too. Paraphernalia, Ziploc baggie, Class B non-person misdemeanor in count 3, count 4, open container and classified, and count 5, failure to obey a traffic device and infraction. These are all alleged to have occurred on or about the 10th day of August, 2024. So this is an older case, and you've been on this case for a while. Well, no, it looks like your entry of appearance is May 12th. All right, very good. So I'm going to give your client a $5,000 OR bond.
Thank you, Judge.
Whoever's got their... I'm not going to worry about it. I don't know where that background noise is coming from, but that's all right. Was he initially arrested on this or not?
I believe he was arrested on this, Judge.
So he shouldn't have to go to the jail and be processed if they can link his KBI.
He'll just need to come to the courthouse and sign his bond is the only thing he'll have to do, and we'll have it at the front desk.
Perfect.
All right. Can you instruct Mr. Green? Can you do that for us, please, at 201 West Pine in El Dorado? Did we lose Mr. Green? There we go.
Muted again. Sorry.
Yeah, that's okay. You can't differentiate apparently between your audio and your video. So we're getting audio and now we're getting video. All right. So you'll need to go to the courthouse and you'll be able to sign your own bond. 5,000 OR. Okay.
In Your Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Green, if you can't make it today, come on Tuesday because we're closed on Monday.
Okay. Can you do that, Mr. Green? 8 to 5?
Yep, it's 8 to 5.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I can try to make it today. I'm all the way in Springfield. I'm not entirely sure how far it is away.
Okay.
Tuesday's fine.
He lives in Springfield. Are we doing any bonds by mail? We were going to check into that, an OR bond earlier where he would just promise to pay, sign it, and return it.
I don't know anything about that, but I can.
Okay. I think it really just kind of takes approval by the court and council, because you guys aren't going to be doing anything with an OR bond. It's just the judgment, and the clerk assigns it to the case and tries to collect the money. But it has to be filed. So, counsel, I'm going to give you a week to contact the court. If you can't figure out with Mr. Sweeney how to avoid him traveling, if it could possibly be overnighted to him or something, you sign it and send it back.
Absolutely, Judge.
Let's see if we can do that. And let's give this thing a week. And then make a note for Judge Webster to check on this at the next hearing. So counsel, these are misdemeanors. They go in front of our magistrate, Judge Webster.
Sure.
He does everything by Zoom.
Mhm.
She is law trained. She's been practicing for 35 years.
Oh, I've been in front of Judge Webster a couple of times.
Okay. Well, she has a pretty long docket, so you know how those dockets work. And it
Absolutely.
looks like the docket that she's putting these cases on is July 28th at 9 a.m. They're usually always Mondays unless there's a holiday. And they're always at 9 a.m. Yep, that's the 28th is a Monday at 9 a.m.
Sounds good.
And Mr. Sweeney, do you know who's going to be handling this case?
Your Honor, I think this is one that I charged, but primarily Mr. Regier will be handling the cases on docket. I'll probably be the one to contact Mr. Jeffrey if you have any plea negotiation requests or anything.
Okay.
Sounds good. All right. Anything further, counsel?
No, Your Honor.
Nothing from the defense, Judge. Thank you so much for your time
All
today.
right. And thank you. Mr. Green, you're free to go. We are adjourned.
Thank you, Your Honor.
And that's all I have on docket, Judge. Am I good to head on out?
Yes, absolutely. Have a great holiday weekend. Thank
Thanks
you.
so much. Yes, you too, Judge. Appreciate your time. Have a good weekend, Brett.
You too.
All right. Who do we have there at the jail?
Mr. Sparks, Your Honor.
Okay, Jamie Sparks.
Ooh, Sparky.
All right, we're going to go on the record in State of Kansas versus Jamie Allen Sparks, 2025 CR 237. The state appears by and through Mr. Sweeney. Mr. Sparks, you were arrested for what all I'm not sure, but I do know what you've been formally charged with. In 25 CR 237, you're charged with an assault of an Ashley Marie Sparks. It's alleged that on or about the 21st day of May 2025 in Butler County, Kansas, you did then and there unlawfully and knowingly place another person, to wit, Ashley Marie Sparks, in reasonable apprehension of immediate bodily harm in violation of KSA 2154-12 AE1. It's called a simple assault, or referred to as such. It is a Class C person misdemeanor. They are asking that there be a finding or special sentencing designation of domestic violence, which means they would have to prove that she is either an intimate partner, a spouse, a family member, or somebody that you live with or share a child with. Generally, a simple assault as a Class C person misdemeanor is a maximum $500 and for a fine, and a maximum 30 days in the county jail that could be imposed by any court. When you add the domestic violence provision, then I believe that there's one of three things that has to occur, or all three: a mandatory minimum $100 fine, 48 hours in the county jail, and a batter's intervention assessment if the finding's made. So I'm going to enter a not guilty plea for you. Do you want me to schedule this for a control hearing as we normally do, so that you can decide whether or not you want to hire an attorney?
I was wondering if there would be a possible way if I could be able to OR out, or.
Well, we're not getting to that yet. I need to figure out.
I don't. I'll be honest with you. What happened that night was, I was a little upset. It'll never happen again.
Okay. Well, I mean, if you want to waive counsel and enter a plea of no contest or guilty, you can do that today, and then we'll sentence you and decide where to go from there.
Okay, let's do that.
Okay. I want you to look at the waiver of counsel. One thing that you need to keep in mind is anytime you get convicted, it goes towards the development of your criminal history for any future charges if you ever get charged.
Dude, this is a terrible idea. For one, don't talk about your case. For two, get counsel.
And even though this is the C misdemeanor, which is the lowest level of misdemeanor that we have, it counts as a person misdemeanor when they're calculating your criminal history. So if you have two other batteries, assaults, violating protection order, flee and elude, anything that is considered a person misdemeanor, this would make, if this made 3, then you would be a 1-person felon, which moves you up quite a bit on the grid.
Okay. Yeah, this is, I think, my first one. I don't think I've ever been in trouble.
Okay.
Jamie.
Yeah, this is a terrible idea. Stop. Don't sign it.
Do I sign here?
Yes. As long as you read and understand it.
You don't understand it.
Yeah, stop. He is signed it, Your Honor.
Okay, Mr. Sparks, how old are you?
36.
What is your highest level of education?
High school diploma.
Okay. And you can read and write at a high school level?
Yes.
Okay, I'm not trying to be offensive here, but I want to make sure that you were able to read that waiver of counsel where it states that you have a right to court-appointed counsel if you can't afford it, specifically if you're given some kind of sentence that could require you to spend time in jail. You're entitled to a trial by jury, the presence of witnesses having to testify under oath subject to cross-examination. You can hire your own attorney or you can waive your right to counsel. No one is really going to be assessing your case but you as to the elements of the charge and whether or not you want to go to trial or plead guilty. But you'll have to waive your right to trial for me to accept a guilty plea or a no contest plea on this charge. Do you understand that?
Yeah.
All right. I told you the maximum sentence I can give you is 30 days and a $500 fine. And then I indicated to you what additional provisions there could be for domestic designation. Do you have any questions about the possible sentence that you could receive?
No, I was wondering if now is the time to see if I could maybe OR out or no.
Okay, so bonding is a totally separate thing.
Okay.
You won't have a bond after you're sentenced. So you won't have a bond that you have to post once you're sentenced.
So I won't be able to get,
but
I won't be able to get out today then?
I'm not sure yet. I'm not sure yet. We'll see here.
But
I just want to make sure
have
that
a job.
I just want to make sure that you understand what the maximum sentencing provisions are. And whether you have any questions about that. Okay?
Okay.
All right. I advise you have a right to trial. You have a right to an attorney. I'm going to accept your waiver of counsel. You have a right to trial by jury of 6, which, as I indicated, you have the presumption of innocence. The right to demand a trial with the presence of any witnesses against you appearing in person under oath, subject to cross-examination by your attorney. You have the right to not be compelled to testify That's your Fifth Amendment right. You have a right to expect a unanimous verdict, and you have a right to appeal if you are convicted, to have a higher court review any conviction to make sure there's a basis for it and that none of these rights that I've advised you of were violated and you received a fair trial, which is most important. Do you wish to waive your right to trial and these rights that would be afforded to you if you went to trial at this time?
I don't really know what to say here.
Okay.
I've never really been through any of this stuff, so I'm not.
Okay. Well, I'm starting to feel like I'm pushing you, and I don't want to push you.
No, you're not pushing me by no means.
I thought that you wanted to plead guilty, get it over with.
Well, that's what I want to do, so yes.
Okay, but you have to waive your right to trial.
Okay, I want to waive my right.
Accept a plea of guilty. Okay. Is anyone forcing you to do this today, threatening you in any way?
No.
Is anyone making you any promises if you enter a plea that they're going to lend favor to you or give you something of value or service? Okay. Are you presently under the influence of any drugs or alcohol?
No.
Are you taking any prescription medication?
No.
Have you been told that you need to take a prescription that you're refusing to take?
No.
Have you suffered any recent head trauma that I should be aware of?
No.
Have you ever been declared by a court or a judge to be mentally ill or mentally incompetent?
No.
All right. On the sole count of assault of Ashley Marie Sparks on the 21st day of May 2025, how do you plead?
No contest.
Okay. And so all I'm going to ask is the prosecutor, because you're not going to trial, you're not contesting the evidence. He's going to offer what he thinks he could prove if he went to court. And if I think there's a factual basis that a juror may have found you guilty, I'm going to find you guilty based on your no contest plea. Okay? Do you have any questions about how that works?
No.
All right. Mr. Sweeney, factual basis?
Yes, Your Honor. So looks like a little bit after 22:02 hours on May 25th of 2025, officers with the Butler County Sheriff's Office were dispatched to the location at 322 West 3rd in Towanda, of course, Butler County, Kansas. Looks like there was a disturbance between Mr. Sparks and his wife. There were at least one juvenile, it looks like, present. Miss Sparks and Mr. Sparks, looks like Mr. Sparks became angry with his wife, and at one point he told her while she was sitting on their bed that he would lay her out. She said in that moment that she was scared. Mr. Sparks said he didn't hit anyone. He did admit to yelling, and said he would knock his wife out and another individual out. And so I would tell the court or proffer to the court that certainly his anger at his wife would certainly, I think, make an average or normal person scared for their physical safety, given the situation.
Okay. Do you know who called this in?
1 second, Your Honor. A neighbor called, Your Honor.
All right. Well, it must have been loud enough and enough ruckus that it concerned a neighbor. So, all right. Mr. Sparks, I find that you're alert and intelligent. I think you understand the nature and consequence of entering this plea. There appears to be a factual basis for it, and I do find you guilty of simple assault, a Class C person misdemeanor. We can proceed to sentencing today. Any recommendation from the state on this?
Your Honor, I would tell the court it's always,
I'm sorry, hang on just a minute. Mr. Sparks, do you admit that Ashley Marie Sparks is your wife?
Yes,
Okay. And that you live together in the same household?
yes, we do.
Okay. So I am going to make the domestic violence designation. And what is your recommendation on sentencing?
Your Honor, the state would be recommending a 30-day jail sentence. As far as the DV designation, I guess I would probably ask for the 3 prongs of the DV requirement. So whatever that fine is, I think you said $100, 48 hours. I would note that this was reported, it looks like a little bit past 10 p.m. on May 21st. So presumably he was taken into custody at some point after that. And then I think probably a batterer's intervention program is appropriate. We haven't had a chance. Obviously, this just happened less than 2 days ago. So I know that I personally haven't spoken with the victim in this case. So if the defendant's placed on probation, I think 12 months would be appropriate with court services. And I would ask for no contact. It's my understanding from the affidavit that they live together and maybe have children that they share together, but absent knowing what her thoughts are in the situation, I would think no contact was appropriate. I guess until I would hear differently.
All right. Well, I would urge you to send a message to your victim witness coordinator if she's there today to put a call into her and see if she wants contact or not, and have her let either your victim witness coordinator know or court services.
Yeah, don't they have to have the input from the victim at the time of sentencing? I thought that was a requirement, that the victim had to at least be notified. Maybe it's different in Kansas, because I'm quite certain that that's a Michigan thing.
You know, I'm going to order that he get into some treatment, and at some point he might actually be evaluated. But there was no actual bodily harm. I understand the threat's a crime, and that can be just as much about power and control over a person and just as threatening. But I am going to let them cohabitate if she doesn't want to have a no contact order, or if she hasn't already gotten a PFA. I would assume she was told that she could get a restraining order against him as well if she wanted to remove him from the home.
And Your Honor, if I just may supplement my previous statement, my victim witness coordinator just did email me, and she's uploaded some communication that apparently has been communicated to our office. And it looks like, at least at this point, she thinks the no contact order is something that would probably be good. It looks like she's willing to drop clothes and trucks off, the truck off to maybe a third party's house if he needs those things. I would defer to that, obviously.
Okay, fair enough. That's what I need to know for now. Is there anything that you want to say, Mr. Sparks?
No, I was like I said, I was going to ask him about it, maybe getting out today, getting OR bonds out, like I could get back to work.
Okay.
And I did that. I have been working and everything, so.
Okay, so you told me how old you are. You live in Towanda. you were living in Towanda. Where is it that you can go and stay for a while until you get in some counseling and see what the no contact situation is going to be long term?
I can go stay at one of my buddy's house and for a little while, and then I can get counseling started, whatever I do need to do to make this better.
Okay.
Like I said, I know I messed up, and I don't I don't want to lose my wife and kids either, and love them to death, but
All right. Well, we usually have some cooling off period, and we try to get some intervention going on before we let people just go back to things as they were. So, all right. So I'm going to impose a sentence of 30 days in the county jail, but I am going to place you on probation for up to 1 year. I am going to impose $100 fine and costs. I'm going to order that you enroll in anger management in the next week.
okay.
No, there's a holiday, but you can contact South Central Mental Health in Andover. You can go wherever you want, but I want you enrolled in anger management. I'm going to ask court services to use their discretion on whether or not they want you to do a full batter's intervention. But I definitely want you in anger management. I am going to do a no contact order for now, which once you're in that anger management and a little bit of time passes, I'm not opposed to lifting that if your wife's welcoming you back home. Obviously, you can't do anything like this again.
I promise this won't happen again.
Okay.
This has been enough for me the last couple of days being in here.
Okay. Where do you work at, sir?
I work for HPC out there at the El Dorado refinery.
Okay. All right. So she needs to know what family member or friend that you want the truck dropped off and your clothing and your basic, hygiene or, the things that you'll need.
If she can drop it off over at Jason Wire's house on 11th Street there in Towanda.
Okay. Now understand that you're not supposed to go to the house. You're not supposed to call her. You're not supposed to drive by. You're not supposed to harass her or any of that kind of stuff. Okay.
Yes.
All right. That'll get you in big trouble.
There won't be none of that.
You'll be in jail a lot longer than you have. So I'll give you credit for the time that you've served in jail. I am going to ask that you be released today. I am going to ask that you try to get to the courthouse before 5 to check in. If not, you need to check in on Tuesday at the Judicial Building at 201 West Pine.
201 West Pine.
And I think the jail can give you their telephone number to call them if they can't get you processed out early enough for you to make your way over here. And then the prosecutor's office will make sure that Ashley knows what the court's ordered and that you can't return to the house until further directive by your probation officer or declaration by the court. Okay?
Okay, thank you.
All right. Again, I'm going to leave the contact to the discretion of court services as well. Obviously, if they want my input, I'm happy to give it. Is there anything further? You do have 14 days to appeal. I don't know why you would. You got what you bargained for. You cannot possess a firearm when you're on probation.
How long do I have to pay that $100?
I will give you 6 months.
Okay.
Because I want you to pay for that counseling, and you may have to do that up front.
Okay.
And then you got court costs.
Okay.
And they'll just set you up on payments.
Okay, I appreciate it.
Probation officer. Okay. And they'll go over all your standard conditions. And if you have any questions, they'll explain it to you. Most of them been doing it for a very long time. Okay?
Okay, thank you. Appreciate
All
it.
right. If there's nothing further, we're adjourned on your case. Okay. And just for the record, Mr. Sweeney, you didn't show prior convictions for him, correct?
I did not, Your Honor, no.
Okay, thank you.
Well, I mean, disorderly conduct, but no prior assault convictions.
Okay.
Okay, guys. I am tired. I'm very tired. We got through half of that. I will check it and see if there's anything good on it. And if there is, then I will run the rest of it tomorrow. Well, today. I want to do a minute of silence in honor and remembrance of those who served and lost their life. So if you guys will just bear with me, I would really appreciate it. So we are going to do 1 minute of silence in remembrance. Thank you. Thank you. And I appreciate every year you sending me the tokens of your version from the Battle of Gallipoli. If I'm probably pronouncing that terribly wrong. April 25th. I still have my calendar from last year, and I got my magnet and my pens. I love it so much. Our troops, it doesn't matter what country you live in. They are the heroes. Hello, Charlie. Welcome. You're only a little bit late. The Great Wombat War. Gallipoli. Thank you, Steve Rushford. Anzac troops and American and Canadians have always been great mates. Right now, Sir Philip is battling ants. Apparently, ants the size of wombats. From the sounds of it. Gallipoli. Well, it wasn't too terribly far off. Not here, you won't. It's off limits. Off limits. Completely. Hey, emu are better than llamas. Llamas spit. That's one we should create on AI. We'll get a llama and emu war going. I'm gonna ride an emu. Hi, tiny kitten. Nope. You leave her alone. Nah. I know you. You leave her alone. Oh yeah. You think I don't know. Bandit, do you want to come out, honey? Yeah. Tiny kitten attacks Bandit. And I'm not going to let it happen. Yeah, see? Just so you can see her. Yeah. Uh-huh. All right. I'm gonna need to head this off. Oh, well, real quick. Take borax and sugar and a little bit of water, mix it into a paste and drop it onto like little pieces of cardboard, just little dots, and put them where the ants are. They will go for the sugar and they'll carry the borax back to their dens and no more problem. Another thing that you can do, if you know where the hives are, outside hives, nests, whatever, the ant hills, you can dig up an ant hill from an opposite side of the yard and put it with the ant hill on another part of the yard. You get two opposing colonies. And if you can get two opposing colonies, they'll take care of themselves. I'm not kidding you. Yeah, that Earl was, or that meow was Tiny Kitten. She thinks it's her time to, no, I see you, and it's not going to end well. Oh yeah, they do. There we go. I have not personally done that one. My neighbor told me the most awesome one though for getting night crawlers for fishing. So you take a pitchfork and you put the pitchfork into the ground, and then you do this after it's rained, so the ground is real wet. You put the pitchfork in the ground, and then you connect a car battery, and one cable on one side, one cable on the other side, and it will electrify the ground with like just enough current that it irritates the worms, and they all come up. They all come up out of the ground, but it doesn't like hurt you. It doesn't electrify you. Now, I don't recommend people do this without looking it up because I don't know the exact process. But he told me about it, and I'm like, that sounds really cool. We need to go play. Oh, I have lots of practice. When I was a kid, my brothers and I used to have bug wars. We would get jars, and we would get all kinds of different bugs, and we would see it was scientific, really. We would see how they would interact with each other, and really it was all about seeing which bug would win. Yeah. And some did really cool things. Like some of the bugs would like shoot green stuff out of them at the other bugs, and it was so cool. It was so cool. We made our own toys. Yeah, with the pitchforks and the car battery thing. Yeah, I couldn't believe it. I've always just dug up the roots because the worms live in the roots of the grass. You don't have to dig far down to get worms. They're right under the soil or right at the root system of all plants because they eat the dying, decaying part of the roots. And that's what they live on. So, I mean, really, you just take up the top layer of grass and roots, and that's full of worms. I didn't know you could electrocute the ground to get them. Well, that's how you made a telephone. That was telephone. We would play hello-a-phone with that. Ooh, cattle prod. Roots, not ruts. That's how I read that. I did not. We played Ninja in the Dark. There was a giant hill between, so there's 3 houses on my parents' block, and my house was on one side, and my best friend's house was on the opposite end of the block, and then there was a house in the middle. But in between the middle house and my best friend was a giant field with a downhill, and there were trees at the bottom. So at night we would have everybody would dress up in black, and then we would hide at the bottom. Like we'd have 2 people that were it, basically. Excuse me. So 2 people would stay up top and count, and then everybody else would run down to the bottom of the hill and hide. And we would like try to pretend to be, the rocks and the trees and things like that. And the 2 that were it would then go down and try to catch all the others. And like you had to be perfectly still and like halt your breathing, because they could be right next to you and not know that you were there. It was so dark. And if they touched you, then you had to bolt it up to the top of the hill. And if you made it to the top, you were safe. It was fun. It was a lot of fun. And we played capture the flag. Yeah. O is pronounced oo. Roots. Roots is that? No, it's I can't. Roots. That takes too much back of the throat work. I need to save my back of my throat. I am. But Joe, you'll got me talking. Wombats eat roots and leaves. I'm from Wisconsin. I think I was born in the wrong state. I really do. I'm supposed to be a country girl. One of the songs that I was working on writing was oh gosh, I'm trying to think of the line. Oh gosh. I'll have to go back. I'll have to find it in my notebook. I'll have to find it in my notebook. Oh, I'm too tired for this. I'm too tired for this. I can't even think of my own lyrics. I may have my city roots. Yeah, I may have my city roots, but I'm getting kind of, or no. I may have my city roots, but I sure do love my muddy boots. And it was all about how, you know, I've lived in the city all of my life, but how much I love farm work and, you know, going out. Like, I would rather muck a horse stall than, you know, than any city work, you know? Well, I can't proudly declare that one for sure. Oh yeah. But yeah, I'm Midwestern. Oh, gotta go. This is the Midwestern goodbye. Sure. You go right on ahead. We'll see how much good that does. Yeah, I probably didn't even get that line right. Gosh, that song, I wrote that one years and years and years ago. I mean, we're talking the aughts. Y'all trying to tell me something? You're welcome, Patrick B. Good night, everybody. Thank you for being here. And I will try to find Manning in the archive drive and present her to you today. Be safe, be well, sleep sweet, and much love.